and welcome to week 10 of my Beachcombing Blanket crochet along. I'm Eleonora, the designer behind Coastal Crochet, and all the details about this blanket can be found over on my blog. The links are in the description below. Remember to have the written pattern next to you as we go through the tutorials, and also remember that I use UK crochet terminology, although I do try to translate to US as we go along. So this is the fourth and final tutorial to accompany week 10, and it's for rows 25, 26 and 27. At the end of row 24 you should have joined with yarn A and turned the work, ready to start this next row, row 25. And in row 25 we're going to be going across these shells and straightening out the edge again, so making sure that we have a straight edge to go across these shells. And so looking at the pattern, it tells us to make 3 chain, and this counts as the first treble US double crochet stitch of this row. And so because this counts as a stitch, the next stitch to crochet into is the next one along, because this very first one is now counted for. And looking at the pattern, it's 1 treble in the next stitch. So 1 treble US double crochet into the next stitch, like so. And now looking at the pattern, it's 1 half treble or US half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and that's 2. And now it's 1 double crochet US single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2 and 3, and then it's 1 half treble US half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and that's 2. And you can see we've gone across that first shell and we're straightening out that edge. And now it's 1 treble in the next stitch, which is actually that central stitch that we did to anchor down our shells in the previous row. So it's 1 treble in that stitch. And now looking at the pattern, it's repeat from star to the final stitch of the row. So go back to where the star is, and it's 1 half treble in each of the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, 1 double crochet US single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 1 half treble US half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 1 treble in the next stitch, which is that central stitch that sits between the shells. So you've repeated from star once, and looking now you can see we've straightened that edge going across 2 shells. And so now we're back to where it says repeat from star, so go back to where the star is and repeat everything we've done all the way across to the end of the row. So I'm just on my final repeat, I'm going around the final shell of the row. There's my little run of double crochet, US single crochet stitches. So now it's 1 half treble US half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 1 treble in the next stitch. So I've repeated everything from star to the final stitch of the row, and there is the final stitch of the row. And looking at the pattern, it tells us to do 1 treble US double crochet into that final stitch of the row. And there we are at the end of row 25, and as you can see we've straightened out the edge going across those shells. So we turn the work. And so moving on to row 26. Row 26 is just an ordinary row of double crochet US single crochet stitches. we make one chain at the beginning of the row. That doesn't count as a stitch, so the first stitch to go into is this very first one, and looking at the pattern, it's one double crochet, US single crochet in the first stitch and each stitch to the end. So just do one double crochet, US single crochet in each stitch across. So I'm just coming to the end of the row. I've worked the double crochet, US single crochet stitches in each stitch across, and remember that the very last stitch to crochet into is the top of that 3 chain that we made at the beginning of the previous row. That counted as the first treble of that row, and so we must crochet into it now. And there we go, that's the end of row 26. Turn the work. And so now we're on to row 27, our final row of the top and bottom panels, and it's an ordinary row of double crochet, US single crochet stitches, but we do have some bobbles at regular intervals. So looking at the pattern, it's one chain, doesn't count as a stitch, and it's now one double crochet, US single crochet in the first stitch, that's this one here, and each of the next 15 stitches. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 14 and 15. So now I've done a little run of double crochet, US single crochet stitches. And now looking at the pattern, it's one bobble with yarn F in the next stitch, and we do this in exactly the same way that we made these bobbles earlier on in week 10. So let your main colour go and then join with yarn F by placing it yarn over hook. And you can go to the abbreviations where bobble is in the pattern and follow those instructions, and everything we're going to complete into the next stitch. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull yarn through to the front, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, and then repeat that 4 times more. So yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 2 more times to do this. So that's once, last time that we need to repeat this, and there we go. And then you have your 5 contrasting coloured loops on the hook and then 1 main colour. So grab your main colour yarn from the back, and then we will pull that through all the loops on the hook, and that's the bobble made. Give it a little tug, and now we are going to be crocheting around that yarn, and it's 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. Remember to do this first stitch quite tight so that it anchors down that bobble. You can push the bobble to the front and give it a little tug. So that's 1, and then carry on, 1 double crochet, US single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. So I'm just on the very final repeat, the final run of double crochet, US single crochet stitches. That was 13, 14, 15 and 16. So I've repeated everything from star 9 times, going all the way across, and we will still have 1 stitch left at the end. And so if you look at the pattern, it's 1 double crochet, US single crochet in the final stitch, and then we fasten off. And there we are, we have finished row 27 and finished all the rows in week 10 to complete the top and bottom panels of our blanket. And do remember that everything that we've done in week 10 on this top panel, we repeat for the bottom, so it's mirrored either side. So I hope you found these tutorials helpful. Next week, week 11, we'll be moving on to the edging of our blankets. Thanks for watching.